Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Box Office Breakdown Show here on Max Talks Movies. My name is Max Dinenberg. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe, ring the bell. I do this Box Office Breakdown Show every single Monday here on the channel, as well as other movie, TV show reviews, and movie rankings. So please subscribe, ring the bell. Love to have you in the community. Also, if you are, join me in the comment section down. Let's have a fun discussion about the box office. First of all, what did you see this weekend in theaters? What are you planning on seeing this upcoming week in theaters? And just tell me, what are your thoughts on the box office? Is Doctor Strange and the Multiverse as a disappointment? Will they get to $1 billion? Gotta let me know in the comment section. And also, please like the video, guys. The thumbs up button really helps the algorithm. So if you hit that like button, the more likes we get, the more people will check out this video. So let's get started with the box office. We're going to first talk about the box office of May 13th to the 15th, which was this past weekend. And of course, not shockingly, in the second weekend, Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness is number one, 61 million. It does take a 67% drop in its second weekend. Now, this is not bad. It's not awful territory, but it's also not good territory. Again, one of the big reasons why this film definitely slid this much is it seems like MC has been making films like Eternals, and this one over the last even less than a year that are polarizing. Now, obviously, it's done a lot better than Eternals and will do a lot better than Eternals and might even get to $1 billion, but you can definitely tell that people who maybe are divisive on the film, are split on the movie, or don't even like it, will wait to rewatch this when it's on Disney Plus, which rumored is 45 days after release, just like the Batman was for Warner Brothers. So this will be again, it's a fascinating watch because critics-wise and really audience-wise, it's becoming one of the most polarizing films of the MCU. I'm on the more positive side of the spectrum with it, but I know a lot of people who don't like the movie and have their reasons. 67% is a pretty big drop for Doctor Strange at the moment. It's not, as I said, it's not awful, but it's not a good drop either. We'll just have to keep watching. Its 2-week total domestic is $291 million. So it is still doing very well for Disney and the MCU. But again, this is kind of the process of Kevin Feige trusting his creators sometimes, letting Chloe Zhao and Sam Raimi make their type of films. And while a lot of people, this is kind of where I'm not a huge fan of the fandom at this point, with this opinion. So a lot of people have been saying, oh, I don't like the MCU just being the same template and the same movies. They look the same. And then there's films that are completely different like this and Eternals, and people just aren't digging. So I just wish people, again, I can have one. I don't know a lot of people who have that opinion, don't love these films, but that's just my opinion on it. But Doctor Strange in the Multiverse had 61 million in its second weekend. In its fourth weekend at the box office, The Bad Guys is at number 2, $7 million, only a 27% drop. And its domestic total is 66.4. This past week was the first week, already 3 weeks into release in theaters. The Bad Guys is already available to rent and purchase on PVOD. Even though it's Universal, it's still not available yet on Peacock. But are only 3 weeks into release, they already put this movie on the digital market. It is $30 to buy it and $20 to rent it. So maybe that's a reason why some people still went out to see the film in theaters. Again, family films and superhero films continue to dominate the box office. The Bad Guys is a perfect example of that. Really good 4 weeks for DreamWorks. They'll have the Puss in Boots sequel to wrap up their 2-movie year. Sonic the Hedgehog 3 is still in the top 5. It's at number 3 in its 6th weekend. Gets another 4.6 at the box office, 23% drop, and it's made 175 million domestic. As we said, family films are still on this list, and as I said, 2 of them are animated, I guess, films. So Sonic continues to do well for Paramount. Still not available on Paramount Plus just yet, unlike The Lost City, Jackass Forever, and Scream. But it soon will be available for purchase and on Paramount Plus. But still good news for Paramount as Sonic the Hedgehog 2 continues to do well. Number 4 was the only new major release hitting theaters this weekend. Is at number 4, Firestarter. Only $3.8 million this weekend for Firestarter from Blumhouse and Universal. Now, this film was released, one of the rare films, I think maybe even the only film this year to release both on a streaming service and in theaters simultaneously. This film was released on Peacock and in theaters. But again, there was literally no one was talking about this movie this weekend in theaters. It was far from the topic of conversation, even for people who watched it on Peacock. Just no one talked about this movie. For me, it was for good reason because I just did not like the movie. But that's so Firestarter, very low opening, and it probably will disappear off this list next week. Number 5, hanging in the top 5 is still Everything Everywhere all at Once. 6% drop, 3.3. It's up to 47 million domestic. This film has a lot of supporters and believers and people who are just finding the film now. Unbelievable. Probably with the most fascinating box office watch of the entire year. This one opened well under 1,000 theaters, has now grown. This past weekend was just over 1,700 theaters. So it continues to grow, and the fandom, everyone seems to be loving this. This is the multiverse film. Having 2 multiverse films again in the top 5 is just so interesting, coming off of Spider-Man and Loki, and now you have Doctor Strange and Everything Everywhere at all once. So it's a fun time at the box office. But this film continues to do well, so well that Fantastic Beasts is already off the top 5 list for the weekend. Sonic, Bad Guys, and this, even in 4 to 8 weekends, are still on this list, and Fantastic Beasts is off the list. When we look at overall domestic on the year, the Batman, maybe for one more weekend, is holding the number 1 spot domestically. 369 million domestic for the Batman. Doctor Strange 2 is at number 2. It's, as I said, 291. Sonic 3, we've already gone through that. Sonic's at number 3. Uncharted is at number 4. Also over $100 million, 147 for Uncharted. And number 5 is The Lost City, which was available this past week on Paramount Plus. It's at $97.1 million. So again, $2.9 million away for The Lost City to join this list of the $100 million films. They already have one of the 4 films, that being Sonic 2. Fantastic Beasts is at number 6. Fantastic Beasts is at $90 million domestic, so it needs another $10 million. Scream's at number 7. Morbius is at number 8. The Bad Guys at number 9. Dog at number 10. Just a note for Everything Everywhere all at once. It is at number 12 at the domestic box office, $47 million. It's $14 million away from joining this list. Probably won't get there, but still, what a fight from that film. And when you look at the worldwide chart, The Batman, still the biggest movie of the year. Again, definitely for only one more weekend, 768 worldwide for The Batman. Doctor Strange has now climbed to number 2 this past weekend. It has 688 worldwide. Uncharted is at number 4, $394 million worldwide. Fantastic Beasts 3 is at number 6 with 378 worldwide. Sonic the Hedgehog 2 is at number 7 with 338 worldwide. The Bad Guys gets into the top 10 worldwide movies with 165 worldwide. It's almost at $100 million internationally. It's doing very solid. So, and Morbius is at number 10 with 162 million. So the Batman still ruling the 2022 box office for maybe one more weekend. Still not a lot of competition for Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. It has its 3rd weekend with no kind of big movies coming out. 2 new wide releases are coming out this weekend. Downton Abbey, A New Era, the 2nd Downton Abbey theatrical released film, and Men, the brand new Alex Garland horror film from A24, is also coming out this weekend. As we hit this is the 2nd to last weekend in May, as we're heading down to the big end of May, which is Top Gun Maverick. So that is this week's box office. And I have a lot of videos coming down the line tomorrow. You'll get my review of Winning Time, season 1, non-spoiler as well. Also, this upcoming week, I'm going to see Men this week in theaters. I'll give you my review of Men. Also, coming down the season finale of Atlanta, season 3. I'll give you my spoiler breakdown of season 3 of Atlanta. A lot of videos, and obviously every single Monday, come back here on the channel for another box office breakdown.